Hey guys, and welcome back to the Designated Pundits. First of all, thank you. You guys made our first week a huge success. Not only did the show come up 4.72 units with all four bettors coming in the positive, but we had a record number of views and a record number of audio downloads. Thank you so much. We're going to keep bringing that content. Today, we're not doing a betting show, just the recaps. At the end, we're going to run through what went right, what went wrong with our bets, but we have some clips to pull up, some cards to talk about, some goals to talk about. Thank you for joining us on the Designated Pundits. Again, we are live here on a Monday night, 8:53 p.m., February 24th. Thank you guys again for making this a fantastic week, a fantastic golf season for us. Today's not our betting show. Today, we're going to break down some of the bets at the very end, but we're going to talk about all the biggest stories around Major League Soccer. And we're going to start today by talking about the best and the worst things we've seen in week one. Scott, Alex, how you guys doing today?
So good. I am so stoked to be home and on this show right now, guys. You cannot believe the day that I have had for the last 10 hours. I have been looking forward to this a lot.
Can you imagine if Real Salt Lake did a lose 4-0 this past week? What kind of mood he'd be in today? Wow, it's impressive.
I know, not even that.
Impressive.
Not even that can dim my excitement for this.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Best and worst things from week one. My best thing is going to be just underdogs doing their thing. San Diego beat Galaxy 2-0 at plus 600 odds. That was a fantastic thing to see. San Jose. I mean, Bruce Arena, we called this, right? I sent the Bruce Arena wearing the Infinity Gauntlet out online and just said, like, we knew this was going to happen. Even better, the two strikers did not score in that match, and they still won quite easily. FC Dallas getting their first road win, tying last season's total. Philadelphia 4-2 road upset. Signs of life all over the league. It is new. The season is upon us. And remember, when these teams, the good versus the bad, it ends up, 10 or 12 points up and down the chart. That's 4 games out of 34. Anything can happen in any given week. So I think that's the best thing that I saw this week was just teams showing how any given week it can happen. I think it was a fantastic week of soccer, one of the most exciting opening weeks we've had in a long time. I went big on Dallas this weekend and also sprinkled Moose Anytime Goal. Always.
Good move.
Yeah. Scott, what is the best thing you saw this week?
Look, it's rehashing a little bit what you just said, but genuinely the best thing I saw this week was San Diego off the ground, first game. And hey, a first home loss for the LA Galaxy since 2023. If you're not a Galaxy fan, that's kind of a fun thing to see.
We're selectively not taking the Rose Bowl games into account on that one, but
no, that one doesn't count. That's a neutral venue at best.
I agree. Alex, best thing you saw this week?
Goals. I think I read this is the most goals opening day in MLS history. 46, 48, something like that. It beat the previous record, most goals ever in opening day, which I thought was awesome. Attendance too looked pretty good. You see Atlanta getting 66,000. That was pretty awesome. MLS is back. I think Apple Plus coverage is very good. Sunday night game of the week, I think, is an excellent idea. And I think they've improved on what they've started on with the MLS coverage.
A little secret, I took off all day Sunday, had nothing to do, so I was able to catch up a ton of these games. Live Saturday night, me and Alex were actually at a concert. We were at a rock show. So we kind of missed a little bit on the live, and I was a little disappointed that I couldn't watch MLS 360 back. I had to catch all the game recaps, and then
That's my complaint. Yes, the Apple Plus, you have everything on demand. Where'd
it go?
I was looking for it. I couldn't find it either Sunday. I was like, well, what happened? They should keep it up for at least 24 hours.
Those brunch plans just to sit back and rewatch the MLS 360 not working out, guys.
Yeah,
or at least the MLS wrap-up show. At least I'd like to see a replay of that. I couldn't even find that online either.
Well, because that's on Sunday nights now.
The Saturday night, Saturday night wrap-up or whatever. I was looking for something, and there was nothing there to find out. Anyway,
I think the MLS really has a responsibility. Like, I'm going to use harsh words here. They have a responsibility to put out content like that when you are going to put so many games stacked on top of each other. Because you cannot watch all of the games. It's not like you can sit down and watch game after game after game for hours and hours and hours. Too many of them are at the same time. And so you just, as a fan, and for us who are trying to cover the league, you don't know what's happening because you're not able to watch any one given game from start to finish. So if they're not doing a little bit more to put that out to you, right?
Absolutely, I do agree there. But the primetime games, fantastic. We know the early Saturday got flexed out because of the snow delay, pushed the Miami match a little bit later. But still, overall, really great job in opening weekend. But now
Dax McCarthy, excellent job in Apple Plus covered. Excellent hire by them. He's outspoken. I really like that. He's off to a flying start on Apple Plus.
Do you like it? Let's get that whole Red Bull squad up there. Who are we missing? Like, I'm trying to think of Johnny Steele or like something like that. Like we got Jolin Pear.
Luis Robles will be coming soon into the studio. Who knows?
That'd be good. That'd be good. Who's the Grella? I mean, like, come on, get Mike Grella on there.
They got him on Paramount Plus to the Italian League, man. He ain't leaving that channel anytime soon. I can tell you that.
Let's talk about the worst of the weekend. This is the next one. The worst for the weekend for me was, kind of refs making calls to decide games. And red cards early, and I'm not going to blame the refs on the red cards early. I can equally as much blame the players for putting themselves in boneheaded positions early. Everyone knows that I am the reactive one. I'm like, that's not a red. I don't want to. For me, a red, I want to see like a studs up, like intentional, like leg breaking tackle. That's not always what we saw, and I did pull up the first one. We're talking about the Kamal Miller red card. And I think that this one really put everything in a bad light. I wish I had pulled up the tweet, but basically on the Kamal Miller one, someone pointed out to me online that for the Kamal Miller red, it was a letter of the law red card. But then later on, Pedro Vite touches the ball with his hand in the box, and then the ref plays the intent of the law to let play continue. So it's like a little bit not parallel there, that he's using letter of the law on one and then, spirit of the law on the next call. But let's look at this Rory Miller red card. There is a breakaway. He appears to make slight contact. Player turns around, goes down in the box. I zoom in a little bit here so we can watch it a couple different ways. I mean, for me, is it a foul? Maybe. There's certainly contact, but it is so light. Is that player 85 pounds? You can whip him around like that. It's hard when you're running full speed. Sometimes you just a little touch will pull someone off balance. I do want to point out that by the time the foul's there, the foul is not because he cannot catch the player. The foul is because he's going to run past the player. So if he doesn't make the foul there, he's probably in a better position to defend the actual play. Again, I'm very reactive, and I always blame the refs. Scott, you're like the voice of reason here.
I am not super going to be the voice of reason. I hate this foul, mostly because to me it looks like Brian White doesn't really bring this ball fully under control. He gets it sort of under his feet, and then he doesn't take it with him. And I don't think that's because of the foul. I think that whatever contact is happening, and I do think there's a little bit of contact happening, but I think he's losing the ball there. And so for me, that's where I'm like, I don't think you have denial of the obvious goal scoring opportunity anymore. I think that goes away because Brian White doesn't take that ball with him. And
let's take a look, because
that's where for me, I'm like, I really am skeptical about this red card.
Yeah, he's running past the ball. The ball is not at his feet. It goes behind his heel. What if their legs tangled there, would that have been a red card?
If the legs had tangled a little bit more, especially if the legs tangle either while Brian White is controlling the ball or...
No, let's say there's no control. Let's say their legs just tangle and they're on a play. Is that a red card? Because then if their bodies and their hands tangle, like that's kind of the same thing for me.
That's so tough because I think so much of that depends on the situation of the tangling. Is the forward running in a straight line and the defender comes across him and then you tangle? Because then, yes, the defender has initiated that contact in a really bad way. But, are they running side by side and the forward kind of comes across to make a little space or something like that? Then absolutely not. So the ref's got to be a little bit savvy there. But for this one, I don't love it.
In the 10th minute or whatever it was.
Yeah, just because I don't think that Brian White's taking that ball with him. And so
The spin around was less the contact and more him needing to turn his body to pick up the ball that's now behind him.
Yeah, because the ball is now 10 yards behind him. I think the other thing too is there is a lesson here about tracking back if you're a defender, because if one other defender just gets on his horse and is sprinting, by the time that foul happens, he's within range to make a play, and that's at best a yellow card now.
We're going to look at another one of those a little bit later. Alex, foul or no foul?
To me, there's contact before in the box if you really look at it closely. The first contact to me is before he's in the box. The only thing I can think of the referee, he's the last defender on a goal-scoring opportunity. The reason why the ref did what he did.
Because
and if anything, I'm giving it a yellow card and a kick on top of the box, not penalty kick area, if anything, to me. But I can see why many are upset. I can see why there would be no call on this and no one would go wild. I think that was the correct call here, to do absolutely nothing and just let play on. But we have VAR for stuff like this. It's still not 100%. What can I tell you?
I feel like
VAR
you
is still not
can't
100%.
give a yellow card for that. Like, there's no yellow possibility. If
because
it's
a last defender. Remember, the rule is the last defender on a goal score opportunity makes a foul is an automatic red card. I do believe is the letter of the law, if I'm unmistaken. So I think the referee's looking at his last defender, goal scoring opportunity. There's contact, but to me, the contact does not fit the crime. It's not vicious enough, or what? I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. But if you look at it again, I think the contact's on top of the key, if anything. And if that alone, that should just be a yellow card, free kick at top of the box. I don't think anyone would be going crazy for it.
But if anybody's a ref on here, they're going to have to jump in and correct me here. But I believe there's a caveat. If you commit a last defender foul in the box, but your foul is attempting to play the ball, there is a double jeopardy rule where you receive a yellow card and the penalty is given. If you commit the foul outside of the box, you get the straight red for denial of the obvious goal scoring opportunity. So I believe there's a double jeopardy rule as long as you're making an attempt on the ball.
Either way, the contact was weak. Either the contact was weak. What are you going to do? Sometimes referees ruin games. Look, players win games, coaches lose games, and referees ruin games. In this game, the referee ruined that call right there. What can I tell you?
That was, I believe it was 0-0 at that point. At that point, it was just slanted against Portland. Vancouver scored 4-1 final score there. Scott, worst thing you've seen this week?
Actually, I just want to take what we were just talking about and ask you guys your opinion on the Pedro Vite handball that happens a little bit later in this game. The ball clearly comes off his right arm. The question is, for you, is that a handball?
VAR again. Why do we have VAR? Isn't that a VAR type situation? Would it not be a VAR situation? They would signal to the ref, yo, you missed a call. Why don't you go take a look on the monitor? Yeah. Did that not work?
So in that play, Vite handled the ball, and then he ran it, 90 yards down the opposite side of the field.
The ref,
To me, it is not a handball because there was no intention to and again, this goes to the rules of we don't know what a handball is. We don't know what a foul is anymore.
It's almost a judgment call.
Does handling the ball give him undue acceleration in the opposite direction? Yes. My problem again is that we just watched a play that went letter of the law, letter of the law, letter of the law. Or what was I saying? Letter of the law. And now for the Vite call, it's spirit of the law. All of a sudden, we're playing by a different.
It's almost like we're arguing balls and strikes against an umpire, which is, it's almost like which is crazy.
Well, we're only letting the captain do that this year.
Yeah. There's a part of me that doesn't want it to be a handball. I don't think Vite's arm's in a weird, position. The ball cup just pops up. It's really close to him to begin with. I don't think he has a chance to do anything about it. So there's a part of me that, as a former player, I'm like, no, it's really harsh to give that as a handball. It's outside of the box anyways. The thing that I'm most sort of mad about is you have video review. That is the kind of thing. The ref has a good view of it on the field. He's in a really good spot. But that ball very clearly goes off his arm, and that stops the ball from going beyond him and potentially falling to a Portland player who are in better positions to pick that loose ball up if it goes past him.
Sure.
That's where I think the ref just needs to go look at it again. And whether he looks at it again and decides, you know what, I don't think it's a handball, like, I'm okay with that. But he should look at it again. He should be the guy that decides, you know what, it is or it isn't.
I agree. And it's just, like I said, we're just sending mixed signals one team to the other. And that's not the way you want to get started in Major League Soccer, especially when you dictate the entire game. Like, he's like, okay, Portland, you don't have a shot in this. You're going to go a man down. Alex, what was the worst thing you saw this week?
One thing I hate is playing out of the back and losing possession and give up cheap goals. And to me, that drives me crazy. I don't know about you guys. That drives me ballistic. And I saw a couple instances, and there's more, but two stand up. Jordi Alba, the name Jordi Alba, the pass back for the NYC goal was shambolic. I mean, we would use some adjectives here. And the goalie for LA Galaxy, Mitrovic, that pass, you got Bob, you might even have the video on that. That pass he gives it a feather. It's like thigh high line drive. I mean, come on, man! You see, watch this. Watch this. Look at that pass right there. Come on. The goalie did that seriously. And I'm hearing in the game, the Galaxy are going with this guy because he's the new modern goalie. He knows how to play in the back. He does. This pass right here.
But in fairness, the defender let it hit his foot like
you got it. Then you put it on the ground to his strong foot. You put it on the ground to his strong for another line drive hip area in your own goal box. Are you out of your mind? Come on. Listen, what happened to old school football? Kick the ball to midfield to win the 50-50 ball. At the beginning of the season, these guys aren't even gelling yet. These guys think they're Barcelona, Manchester City playing out of the back, ticky-tacky. Seriously, man, this is Sunday Football League stuff. You can't be playing out of the back and giving up cheap goals like this in a major professional league. This is insanity.
Just won MLS Cup.
And Jordi Alba of all people. Like, I mean, it shows it can happen to anybody. But seriously, guys, stop thinking everyone wants to play out of the back. Sometimes it's not the end of the world. Kick the ball to midfield and fight for the 50-50 ball. Seriously.
Stop.
I'm quite happy for MLS teams to push the envelope on that. I think that's a part of developing as a soccer nation and as a league. Your teams have to be able to do that if you want to be taken seriously. The European teams who come scouting, or the bigger Brazilian teams, or whoever, when they come scouting, they're going to look at
not every time, every goal kick they're playing out of the back.
No, I hear you on that. There needs to be common sense, and you see this in Europe all the time too, right? Watch any big league teams give up stupid goals because they're trying to play through situations they shouldn't play in. For me, this is all about, like what you're talking about, bad situational awareness. And you watch the goalie, he doesn't look over. He hits that pass blind. If he looks over, he knows he can play that on the ground and he can zip that over. The other thing is the defender feeling like he's got to get a touch on it or whatever. A defender who's a little more heads up in that moment just lets that ball go, and they take the throw in, and he looks at his goalie and he's like, what are you doing, man? Like, play a better ball. There's no reason to put that in the air. But it's just that situational awareness. There was a tweet from maybe Bogert who said that there's a few goals from mistakes out of the back. A little rust lingers in the opening weekend of MLS. I think there's a lot about short preseason. These teams are going to make mistakes because short preseason.
I want to look at that Dreyer goal one more time because it is a bad example of playing out the back. Yes, the goalie kicks it too hard. Yes, the defender lets it hit off his leg like a brick cinder block. But Lozano was there. Chucky was there, and he passed it off to Anders Dreyer, who gets the first ever goal for San Diego FC. You see right here, kicking it to the defender. Yes, that is too hard. Yes, that is an awful. But hey, Dreyer gets the first one, and you know what? That was not his only goal in the game, because a little bit towards the end of that match, probably the last few minutes, he lays off a great pass to Tomas Angel, who is a legendary son of a player, and who is back in the box? It's Dreyer again, who then went 50 yards down the field and got his own layoff from Angel here. Beautiful pass.
Lefty too.
In the back of the net.
Oof.
2 for Dreyer. SDFC 2-0. That salted the game away. It was probably the 85th minute, something like that. It's very, very late. And a lot of people won money, plus 600 on the San Diego game. They looked really good. San Diego, I was very pumped for this team heading into the season. I think that there's a lot of really good players. Andres Dreyer, Herving Lozano, they're both two players that I bet to score in that match and got a plus 480 on the combined to score or assist. It looked really good. Luca Della Torre looked fantastic. The defense looked pretty sound, although LA Galaxy did kind of not threaten too much. Franco Negri looked great. He left with a knock, I know that, but he was playing all up and down the field. San Diego FC.
I think there's a lot also to do with LA Galaxy looking so poor. Without Ricky Puig, they're in trouble, man. I'm telling you right now. I don't know how long he's out. I don't know if he's missing the whole year, but I know the majority. And no Paintsill too. The Galaxy, to me, Marco Royce looked like a statue there last night. I don't know what you guys thought. He was poor would be a high adjective, good word to use. He was really bad. Listen, I got a name for LA Galaxy. Gio Reyna needs to come back to MLS. You take Ricky Puig's spot till he's ready. No, don't laugh. This is perfect for him. He just did perfect for the World Cup time. Perfect fit for LA Galaxy. That needs to be done for LA Galaxy to me. Gio Reyna will be a perfect fit until Ricky Puig gets back. More about San Diego, that Dreyer signing, one of the underrated signings in MLS. Dominate one of those smaller leagues in Scandinavia. I don't know, in Europe. That's the type of number 10 you want bringing into this league. He's a number 10 that can score. Look out for San Diego. Luca De La Torre was fantastic. I thought Lozano was very good with the ball. I think San Diego is going to be very good this year. I think they're a playoff quality team right off the bat.
What about Juan Pablo's son squaring up that pass at the very end?
A very beautiful pass. Beautiful.
I love the way he shifted his hips to be able to create the angle on that little layoff. Look, I thought San Diego's midfield did a really, really good job of managing the game.
Oh, killed LA midfield. Killed them.
Absolutely dominated LA in the midfield. Kept the LA offense from having any sort of meaningful, involvement. I was looking up some stats. There's an article that I wrote. I think we're going to publish. Christian Ramirez had 0 shots for the entire game.
No service.
No service. Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
No service. LA was unable to get that ball into really meaningfully dangerous positions. That is a lot to do with the San Diego defense and a lot to do with that San Diego midfield. They managed the heck out of this game. And then they knew what they needed to do on, to be opportunistic, to be on the counter, and they created their own opportunities and they took advantage of the opportunities they were given. Brilliant.
Let's talk about a team that could not make the most out of their opportunities, and that is Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. Final score 2-2 with NYCFC. And a big part of the reason why is because Miami played down a man for a very big portion of the match. They went up early on an Aviles goal, which I pulled out here. Pretty Lionel Messi. He finds himself in some space, crosses to a Luis Suarez who's way off sides, but coming out of nowhere, you have the defender running up the center of the field there, putting it in the back of the net. That was Tomas Aviles, the center back there. I think that was a very good play. It's lucky he touched it, because if not, it would have been an offsides. So Aviles is going to be the best player in this match, right? A center back gets a goal. That's got to be nope, because a few minutes later, he makes a boneheaded play, takes down a NYCFC defender. And this is kind of the next one I want to talk about, because I think there is a little bit of a questionable call here, because it looks like he got most of the ball, but whenever you go through someone's back to get to it, that's going to be a foul, right? So let's take a look here. Kind of gets twisted up, dives a little recklessly. Now, if you look closely, he does get the ball. It's not with the foot he intends to go. I think it's his left foot, not his right foot. But he certainly smacks the ball out of there. You can see it's definitely changed direction, but it's a red card. He's off. Now, I felt both ways. I felt my emotions swing wildly back and forth. At first, I thought, how dumb can you be? Like, you're on the highest powered offense Major League Soccer has ever seen, and you're playing against NYCFC. You can let him walk into the box and take the goal and have a lot of confidence that 11 man on the field, Lionel Messi, you got Segovia coming in late and scoring. That foul didn't need to be made. And whenever you come through someone from behind, you run the risk. He left his legs. He did get the ball. But for me, I don't know. I think that's a definite red for him. I mean, it was a red card. Do you guys have any strong feelings on that? I mean, it's just a boneheaded play.
I think boneheaded is right. I think the only way that I really agree with this red card is if the ref can come out and say, prior to the tackle in which he gets the ball, Aviles commits a foul, which is a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. If he can say, look, because there's a little bit of a tug in there before he lunges in, right? And if you can say that tug is enough, that it's a foul and it's a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity because there's not another defender nearby, that's the red card. If you can say that, letter of the law, that's the red card, and the tackle afterwards has nothing to do with it, then I will kind of put my hands up and be like, okay, I guess. If you're trying to justify it off the tackle, I'm like, no, get out of here. The tackle is not a red card.
For me, if he didn't put effort into the tug, he could have caught up or run past the attacker. That's kind of the strange thing there. Alex, do you feel any particular way about this?
I don't know if it's a red card, maybe a penalty. I don't know if I would give him a red card to me, but he went through he got the ball, but he went through the body to get the ball. So yes, it's a penalty. I don't know about the red card situation. I think we should try to get Christine Uncle on this show to give us her analysis of some of these calls. Cause to me, each week I'm perplexed. Like there's always a call that I don't get.
It has to be on the tug though, because they didn't call a penalty.
Yes. So I don't know. A red card on this to me is a little harsh. I got to be honest. What I think, but penalty, sure. Red card, I don't know. Again, Miami had to go a 10-minute injury time to get a tie in this game, being down a man, which is 10 minutes injury time. What are we talking about here? I guess it's Inter Miami, but exciting game. NYC almost pulled it out, but they did not. And there you go. Miami gets the point. Champions League curse doesn't matter. I guess they play tomorrow night again, Miami. So they had to keep going. What are you gonna do? Again, I don't think it's a red card. Penalty, yes, not a red card. But again, we could spend hours talking about this. It's not black and white apparently anymore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So let's run through, I guess we'll finish up with some of our picks, and we'll just kind of discuss if there's anything from these games we want to talk about, because there were a lot of upsets, a lot of really great picks that we made. Again, the four of us combined for plus 4.72 units. We had a couple of group plays together. First one being Atlanta over Montreal. I took the first half win, plus 105. They went in 1-0 at halftime. I won. Didn't even need to watch the second half of that game. Everyone else had Atlanta and over 2.5 goals. Total was 5. I think that for both of these teams, the Montreal looked pretty good, actually. But I don't think that defense is keeping anything out of the back of the net. In Atlanta, Emmanuel Latte Lath, fantastic. Al Marone with an assist in his first match back. Sabal with an assist and 3 shots. Atlanta looked like they were clicking, and that offense looks like they are what we thought they were going to be. They look really, really, really good.
Atlanta's following the LA Galaxy model. They're going to try and win shootouts. They're going to outscore you, and they're going to outscore you by scoring lots of goals, not just by getting one and keeping you to nothing. So, very exciting, I think.
One thing I liked about this, after the game, they asked Latte, killing the name, Latte Lath, what he thought of MLS compared to the championship. And, everyone thinks the championship is big physical league. It's, wonderful. He said this is the most physical game he's played in a long time, more physical than anything he's faced in the championship with relegation and promotion. So that's something to people to think about when coming over here to MLS is some easy cupcake league. Just want to throw that out there. He made that comment right after the game.
Yeah, wait till he does some travel too. He's going to have a bit more to say about that, I'm sure.
Portland on Saturday, Austin Wednesday, and then New England the following Saturday. That's going to be fun.
Exactly.
Lots of fun. Yeah, lots of fun.
You have me secretly peeking Atlanta's schedule, but
I was just throwing shit out there.
Yeah. Back at home, so they.
Can you imagine that in a week? Portland, Austin, and New England on the road. Can you imagine?
That's what St. Louis has been doing.
Yeah. Throw a Champions League game in Nicaragua somewhere there in between. That'd be even solid.
Mm-hmm. Next match I really want to talk about is Dallas at Houston. Dallas had only one home win the entirety of 2024. They got out to a 2-1 win in this one. I had Dallas on the double chance at minus 105, which was kind of a chicken bet. But the team total, 1.5 goals. They never score 2 on the road. Plus 180, that bet was. Houston, of course, let the Dallas walk all over them. Musa, 1 goal, 1 assist. Anderson Julio with a goal, getting off to brightly on his start for FC Dallas, and a player that I had in fantasy, Bossy for Houston, putting one in the back of the net, ends up not meaning too much. Ezekiel Ponce, the new striker, assisted him on that. This game actually kind of showed the best of both teams. I think Houston did not break without their star center back Mikhail. It did cost them the match, but I think that they showed that they're not just going to roll over. I think that maybe we were a little rash in putting them, towards the end of the Western Conference. I think they'll be okay, but for me, it's FC Dallas. This is the team that got better.
On the Houston note, actually, I think it was Matt Doyle put out a video from this game that is like a 17-pass Houston buildup from back to front that ends in a chance. I don't think it's a goal, but there is a team in here who can play ball. They are not rolling over, even having lost Hector Herrera and Coco Carrasquilla. So I think you're right. I think this is a team that will continue to be competitive, even if they did lose at home to their in-state rivals.
I think Houston's. I disagree with you guys. I think Houston's in for a long year. I don't see them scoring a lot of goals this year with the roster they have. I know they're not done with this roster, but as of right now, they're gonna have trouble scoring goals. If you can't score goals, you can't win. I know Benny Ball. We've all been, players love him. They play hard for him. So Houston's gonna be tough out. These guys, until they get consistent scoring, I am not on the wagon with Houston as of right now. I got to be honest.
But last year they did not score at all. It was just defense.
It's worse this year. I think it could be even worse this year. I think it's even worse this year.
I think it's going to be better. They have Ezekiel Ponce replacing Sebastian Ferreira, who I forgot was on the team halfway through last season. They do have Jack McGlynn replacing Hector Herrera, who was not fit or available.
Carrasquilla is a big loss. Carrasquilla is a big loss for them.
Yeah,
that's a big loss. Big loss. He's the playmaker there.
I think the thing is, and you're going to hear this a lot from me because it describes a little bit the RSL roster, that the bones of the roster are still competitive. They're still going to go out and be competitive. So if you're a fan, this season's going to be bad for your health because you're going to be sweating it no matter who you play. There's going to be very few games that you just run over a team, but there's going to be enough competitiveness in the roster. And I think there's enough quality between Bassi and Ponce to score enough goals that they're going to win enough games to broadly be competitive, right? And I don't know that means playoff soccer in a very crowded Western Conference, but it means that they're going to be in a conversation. I don't see them like as a dropping necessarily quite to the bottom of the West. Not without other evidence and injuries or something.
When I talk to all the guys from Dallas, when we had Jose Tejas on just before. All those Texas teams, we thought what is their biggest advantage? It's the heat of the summer. Well, what's happening in the heat of the summer? Leagues Cup. So the hottest month in the hottest 2 weeks in July and the whole month of August, those 6 weeks those are 6 home wins for these Texas teams, and I think that's part of the advantage that's taken away. Is that the Leagues Cup is their bread and butter. That's when they make their season form. So I think that there is a little bit to be said there, not only for what's going on in the field, but the league structure.
I can't stand it. I hate the Leagues Cup. I hate the idea. I can't stand it. We can't the world cannot take us seriously playing this Leagues Cup crap in the middle of the season. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It's about money, Alex.
It is about money,
good or bad.
There's other ways we can. There's other ways you can grab money, but having this in the middle of the season against, it doesn't make any sense to me. I lose interest. I got to be honest with you. Who won it last year? I have no idea.
Houston have an even tougher test Sunday night against Miami. It doesn't get any tougher than that. Thanks, Sam, jumping in the comments there.
But seriously, who won Leagues Cup last year? Do you remember?
No. It was,
there you go. That's my point.
LAFC?
LAFC.
Was it? You're all looking at me like I'm speaking Chinese. Exactly.
Okay.
That's my point. It's not important. I digress. Let's continue.
Let's finish up one last game to talk about, and this is about Bruce Arena, a coach that we knew had the goods. We knew he was going to remake the Quakes team. He brought in a couple of his own guys. A couple superstars, Chicho Arango, Joseph Martinez, guys that we know can score in Major League Soccer. They beat Real Salt Lake 4-0. Christian Espinoza, 2 goals. Ricketts with a goal and an assist. You got, I think Victor Costa got a goal. A very, very good showing for San Jose in their first match. They were home. They were supposed to win. Real Salt Lake played a midweek game, had a ton of roster, players being shuffled around. But San Jose was plus 130. We saw that in the sports book. We circled it. We attacked it. And this is not a game that San Jose would have won last year. So while I'm not saying this is everything good or that RSL stinks or anything like that, this is a game San Jose would have lost last year. They have Bruce Arena. They're not going to lose these games anymore.
San Jose did lose this game last year, 1-0 actually. Diego Luna scored a pretty late winner. And you're right. This is a much, much improved team. I think the only thing that RSL should really feel proud about is Chicho didn't score or assist. But it was rough. I look, if you're looking for silver linings as an RSL fan, Bruce Arena did come out and say, hey, that score line is not reflective of the actual game. If you look into the stats, RSL has all this possession. Expected goals is 1.7 to 1.9. What it comes down to is individual mistakes. And RSL made them, and San Jose did not.
There is
I
one
thought
Espinoza
was, Espinoza I thought on San Jose was excellent in this game. I really did. I think he's going to have a big year.
I agree, but I think the player of the game for me was at the center back position. Rodriguez, is that the pronunciation?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez was fantastic.
We love Bob. We love what Bob does with the names. We love Bob to try to pronounce a name first time in the show. Bob, say it one more time.
Rodriguez.
Yes, Rodriguez.
There we go. I don't care much about pronouncing his name as much as talking about what he's done. 6 of 10 accurate long balls, 1 successful dribble. He scored on his only shot from the center back position. That's always going to be in for a good week. But he won 50% of his tackles, 204, 6 clearances, 6 head clearances, 6 interceptions, 17 defensive actions, 5 recoveries, and 11 duels won. 7 of 8 on the ground, 4 of 4 in the air. I think that he single-handedly is going to make this Quake squad really good. We know Bruce Arena likes tactics, and he's going to build around a guy like this. Fantastic. I'm bumping him to the top of my depth chart, and I think he's one of the better center backs in Major League Soccer. I think this is going to be a huge year for him.
I'm going to wait and watch a little more for him. He didn't have the toughest test against this RSL offense. The only bright spot in this offense, well, 2 bright spots I'll give you. Diego Luna looked quite sharp, even with his limited preseason coming back from the broken nose. He flashed one past the post within a couple of minutes. Had a couple of decent looks at goal. And then Tyler Wolff, a guy I really didn't expect to do a lot this season, looked pretty bright in this game, which is maybe not saying a lot about the way the rest of the team attacked. The center forward was completely anonymous. He had 14 touches in the entire game, which is pathetic. So yes, Rodriguez was really, really good. I would not say that he was really, really good against really, really good opposition.
And while we think this team is going to buy a center forward, Forster Ajago, he's going to have every chance. And I like giving him opportunity. But the backup, Ariath Piol, I already picked him up in So Rare. He's going to get a chance. I think that everyone on this roster at the center forward position is going to get evaluated before the summer to see what they have. Let's check right back into the comments. Istari says, I'm really looking forward to Charlotte home to Atlanta. Charlotte with their very good home crowd. Zaha debut against if Zaha makes that debut, I would be interested in seeing that. I think it's really going to be a good test because this is a defense first team in Charlotte, and I think that they can come out and do pretty well. Very silent. I think they had a 0-0 draw this past week.
2-2 Seattle.
2-2 against Seattle, and they
got a late tie. They got a late score to tie it.
Right.
I think it was an own goal, right? Was it? I recall correct. It was an own goal late, Charlotte. Late, I think so.
Yeah, Yamar own goal. Yeah.
Yep, there it was. Yeah.
which I mean, you must have really been pushing him to get that off of him. So look, I agree with that. Actually, I think that's going to be a very watchable game. I think those two teams are going to be up for it, and I have high expectations for this Charlotte team all season because they are a defense first team, but they have added real attacking talent to this roster, and so this is a team that isn't just going to shut everybody out all season. They can go and score goals now.
I like it. Alex, any final thoughts?
No, opening week was exciting. 2 road teams won? Am I correct? Right? 3 ties, 2 road teams won.
Dallas, Philly, Whitecaps,
Diego.
San Diego, at least 4.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, that's right. Still, it was exciting stuff. San Diego looks like they're going to be fun to watch. That was an eye opener to me this weekend.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad. If it's all fun in the end, that's what we're here for, right, Scott?
That's what we're here for. All fun in the end. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Have a great week, and we'll catch you again on Thursday as we go live with predictions for. What?
You lose 4-0. I guess that you got to be very nice to the fans. I guess they're listening.
No,
is that what that is?
No, I just took Bob's line. Bob's supposed to tell you to like and subscribe.
Oh, okay.
Like and subscribe. We're out. Peace.
Yeah, whatever he said.